prima facie the most important for us too. And I would like to thank C. Lakshmi ma'am and C. Annapurna Arvinda Garu ma'am for this opportunity, and the team of Hyderabad Chartered Accountant Society for arranging this wonderful webinars. With this, let us start today's topic. I will share my screen. Just give me a minute. I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, Arpan, it's visible.
Yeah, thank you. So before we start, let us understand that the topic for today is key changes in GST, including IMS. See, again, IMS is again a new feature that has been added up, which is in Limelight. Apart from IMS, there are also other aspects that requires our understanding and awareness as to what all the new aspects that has come under GST portal or under the GST law. So to begin with, let us understand that today where we are here, like everyone is chartered accountant, ma'am. Here, the
Yes, sir.
we are
All
all
are chartered.
CS, right?
All are
Yes,
chartered
yes, sir.
Done.
accountants.
Done. So see, let us understand. If you are 100 in numbers here, see, if almost all are chartered accountants, I believe that few of us would be, many of us would be into reviewing the data, and a few of us would be filing and reviewing, but majority of us would be reviewing the data. That is what the prima facie understanding I have when it is the today's participants and the delegates who are attending the session. So I will now mold my session to the tune that I will just interact with you. I will highlight the aspects that we need to consider, and after a complete aspect of say IMS or GSTR 1A, each and every aspect that has been discussed, I will just summarize that what you need to take care of. What you need to pass it on to the team is something which you will be understanding throughout the session, and at the each end of each session, you will also try to summarize few aspects which we have to keep in mind before we proceed for the filing of subsequent months. To begin with, what is the agenda for today? Agenda. So it is to introduce the importance of monthly filing of GST returns, importance of accuracy, then key changes in GSTR1 that has been introduced, key changes in GSTR 3P, overview of GSTR 2A and 2B, overview of DRC 01A, 01B, before going to GSTR 1A, because that is how that 1A has been introduced. I will also make you understand that each and every changes that is being introduced is coming from a perspective. See, it is not that just a new change has been brought into the portal. It is either to make our life easy or difficult. Then about IMS is what we'll look into, and portal advisories that is being issued, that we'll look into, and then wherever time permits, DRC 0A and recent case laws, like if you see a Safari retreat that has come, we'll just brief up and summarize on those aspects. So let us start with the journey. So if members here would appreciate, when the GST law was introduced, when the model GST law was introduced, there were GSTR 1, 1A, 2, 2A, and 3. Even when the GST was introduced on July 2017, 1st July 2017, we were having GSTR 1, GSTR 1A, GSTR 2, 2A, and 3. Then later, after passing of say July, August, and September, then we came to the government realized that it is difficult for the portal to accept. From July 2017 itself, they have given us GSTR 1, GSTR 3B. However, see why I am telling you that it was still there because in GST Act, the reference to GSTR 1, 1A, 2, 2A, 3 was still there. Understand, the reference was still there. However, for ease of filing purpose, the government said we are introducing a summary return in the form of GSTR 3B. Perfect. And now it is GSTR 1. See, understand, in 2017 we were, then after passing of 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and today we are in 24. Looks like 5 years again. It's like, but understand, after passage of 7 to 8 years, now we are at a stage where GSTR 1 is what we need to check. IFF 1A, 2A, 2B, 3B, DRC 01A, DRC 01B, DRC 01C. So there are n number of aspects that has come up. But per se, if you ask even today, we have to update our clients, we have to update our stakeholders that it is not only 1 and 3B that is being filed, because for them it is more of 2 returns is what you are filing. You used to file 2 returns in 2017, you used to file 2 returns in 2018, 2 in 20 COVID, 2 in 22. Even now what you are doing or what we are doing is, from their perspective, if you ask us, it is we are only filing GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B. But if you ask our back office, or if you ask us, it is before filing of 1, we all consider certain aspects. Before filing of 3B, we consider GSTR 2B, 1A. All other aspects is what we are considering. So that aspects we have to bring it to the notice that there are good number of changes that is being introduced again and again. Now, members, you tell me, is the process easy or difficult till now? See, let us see. We can discuss and we can make it interactive also, because see, again, when we are CS, it is more of interaction that would be required. That is required because filing would be done anyway. I will help you with the key points wherever required, but you just let us understand with 1A, 2A, 3, and then coming to GSTR 13B. Then again, if you can recollect and remember, there was new returns that was being introduced by GST department in the form of ANX 1, ANX 2, etc., etc. by the name. That was again not implemented though, but they were about to implement. And now again, there are a number of aspects, that is 1A, 2A, 2B that we are supposed to deal with. So let us understand. In 2000, let us try to interact in 2017, in 2018. Just go back. If you're practicing, then go back. In 2017, in 2018, how many of us were aware of GST 2A and its implications? What would it cost in 2022, 23, 24? Anyone? How important GST 2A was in 2017, please? I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible.
See, either it should be an interactive session, or else then whatever the slides I have prepared, the content, one side love story, that is what I will try to address then.
It
I'm
wasn't.
trying to make it interactive. Let us, because see, ultimately returns would be filed. That is my guarantee by the end of this session. Whatever the changes that has come up, I have that ability that I will summarize it in 15 minutes and I will tell you what the gist of the session was, if required. Again, a recap of the session. Let us
In
interact
17,
and
18,
understand.
there was not much importance of 2A because we used to follow purchase register.
Correct. So Ankita ma'am says that at that point of time, it was not that relevant. If you ask me, even we were not that aware of, even the stakeholders were not even aware of what JSTAR 2A is, and even for the sake of reference also, we have never used GSTR 2A, or at least 95% of our CAs or the consultant or the client has never even downloaded GSTR 2A at that point of time, and they have taken the credit based on that. However, now the scenarios is completely changed. Why I'm trying to address this is, try to understand any change that is being introduced now. Let us understand that what implications it may have in the future. See, 2A was very irrelevant then, but if you take GST 2017-18 and 2018-19, if you just go back and check each and every assessments we have undergone, they have not even missed GST 2A in any of the assessments. I can bet you. That important it has become then. And we were in the year 2022, in the year 2023, and the last 2-3 years, we were reconciling all those GSTR 2A with the purchase data now, which we could have done at that point of time. I still remember 2000 in the year 2018 when GSTR 2A came into limelight because of a few notices. The then finance minister, late Arun Jaitley ji, himself has tweeted and clarified that GSTR 2A would only serve as a facilitation measure. The department will not take any harsh action. It is only to facilitate the trade, is what he has literally tweeted, to give the understanding of the finance ministry with respect to 2A. That was the intent of CBIC in the year 2018. But then the finance minister got changed, the hierarchy got changed, and then we have witnessed a wonderful notices with respect to GSTR 2A versus GSTR 3B, GSTR 2A versus GSTR 2B. We have seen n number of cases with respect to this. Even suppliers registration cancelled, that is being witnessed in GSTR 2A. Based on that, the notices were issued. I can tell n number of cases only from GSTR 2A what the government has done. So let us understand that again, it is n number of features that is being implemented. Understand the impact of it, why it is being implemented, and future impact what it can cause. Then introduction to the monthly returns. If you ask, 3B is what we are aware of. 5 is with respect to non-resident taxpayers. 6 is for ISD. Again, ISD, there are a couple of, it has been now made mandatory from 1st April 2015. And then GSTR 7 TDS and GSTR 8 TCS. Importance of monthly filing with respect to accuracy. Why filing of GSTR returns accurately is very important. If anyone can acknowledge or tell few points in this regard. Again, I'm telling you my word that I will close the session with at most summarized content which everyone can remember. I'm just trying to make you understand that this is the points. Like say, suppose even if I go and interact with the client, if he asks me to, for him it would be like, खाली GST return ही तो भरना है ना. Only GST
It is
return
requested to use the expertise of the speaker. Please make it interactive. Apologies, sir.
No problem, ma'am. Thank you. See, why I'm trying to make you understand is, see, there are a couple of points apart from provision. Also, we should understand why I'm trying to make you and I'm trying to reiterate this thing is, see, if why I'm trying to because of the say importance. If I go and interact with the client, for him it is like, sir, GST return kada file chesedi. How I usually tell to the client, the importance I will make him understand. Sir, మీరు ఒకప్పుడు ఏమైనా చేంజెస్ చేయాలంటే సెప్టెంబర్లో చేసేది. आपको कोई चेंजेस करना है तो सितंबर में करते थे. Like we used to have time till closure of income tax returns then. However, if you ask today, the moment if I file my 12-month GST returns, 90 to 95% of my financials are freezed. So you don't have much of the time to do adjustments then. Earlier, if you used to have say 6 months of time, today you don't have. So that is how I project them, and that is how even I want you to make I want to make you aware that important GST 3 return is, or GST 1 return is, or GST returns are. So the moment 12 months returns are filed, it is as good as financials are draft prepared. Subsequent month GST returns. Now the government, what they have done, subsequent month GST returns, they have said that it cannot be filed if the preceding month GSTR 3B is pending. If you ask me how far that is correct, I am not aware of. See, if I have no, what we say, amount to pay for, say, September month GST return because of my seasonal business or because of the client has not paid, that is the reason I was not able to pay GST. However, government says 100% तो आपको पैसा भरना ही है. 100% is what we are supposed to pay. Until unless I pay the amount and file my GST return, my next month GSTR1 I cannot file. How far that is correct? Again, if you don't file your GSTR1 for the next month, don't see, understand, if I don't file my GSTR1, it won't get auto-populated in their GSTR2B, the various customers of mine. If only one customer doesn't pay like the substantial amount of GST, I cannot eliminate that to that extent and file it. And bank loans or investors. Nowadays, even if you are in the month of December or September or February, what the bankers are asking is the preceding 12 months of GST returns or preceding 16 months of GST returns, etc., etc. So even say if it is a startup, so the VC or the investors or etc. would ask for the GST returns to confirm whether whatever you are projecting your sales number, they will try to match a basic simple level of due diligence they will do with your GST returns. So that is how we are supposed to project to our client that important the GST returns are, and that is where as you as a CA would make an impact or differentiate from the other consultant. I hope, see, subject I am here to teach and I will teach that. And my only thing is I'm just trying to project that is how important even the presentation with respect to our clients should be. And let us take one example wherever required in between, that I have sold cricket bat to Virat Kohli. The cost of the cricket bat is 1 lakh rupees. That is a taxable value. GST amounting on cricket bat is say 18%, 18,000 rupees, and the invoice value would be 1,18,000 rupees. So here I would be the vendor, Virat Kohli would be the customer. Only for the sake of simple example, wherever if required, we'll try to use this to explain things. GST ledger. If you would be 6 months back or 1 year back, just go back and check. Even if I, before showing this slide, if I ask you how many types of GST ledgers are there in the portal, how many we would be telling? GST electronic rate ledger, electronic cash ledger, electronic liability ledger. Correct? But now, knowingly or unknowingly, if you go back to the portal and if you check, these many registers have been added up. Negative liability statement for composition taxpayers, negative liability statement for regular taxpayers, electronic credit reversal and reclaimed statement, RCM liability, ITC statements. So these are the changes which we should be updated. We should be aware of what has newly come up in the GST portal. That we will again cover in the subsequent slides. With respect to returns, if you see in the returns tab, there is IMS in a dashboard that has been added up, and return compliance. Two aspects have been added up. Return compliance, almost it's a long time return compliance has been added up, and then IMS has been added up. With respect to return compliance is nothing but DRC01B and DRC01C, whereas with respect to IMS, we'll again discuss. It is clear cut. In the name itself, they have given invoice management system. That is the dashboard they have added up in the returns tab. Coming to the presentation. Changes in GSTR1. From now here on, e-waybill data you can automatically download on. E-invoice details. Say suppose I file, say today is 25th. Whatever the e-invoices I have created, if you go back and check your GSTR1, the details are automatically, they are getting auto-populated. Earlier, say if I generate e-invoices, if I am a client, if I generate e-invoices, by 30th or 31st, whenever the month gets completed, all the details with respect to sales are already there in the GST portal. So for client, if you ask me, he will be like, sir, आजकल तो क्या है, पूरा ऑटो पॉपुलेट ही होता है, you have to do nothing, आपको तो खाली देखना है, accept करना है. You have to just see and accept. మీరు just చూసి యాక్సెప్ట్ చేస్తే సరిపోతుంది కదా, పని ఏముంటది జిఎస్టీలో. దట్ ఈస్ హౌ it comes from the client end. From our end, what he says is correct. There would be few details that won't get auto-populated, or I have to cross-verify. There are n number of aspects. So one aspect is true, that if a client who is enabled for e-invoicing and is preparing e-invoice for all the invoices, and if all are B2B, then it is as good as the auto-populated GSTR1 can be filed after reviewing. So hardly any work we are supposed to do there. Then there are few changes with respect to e-commerce operators and B2C large invoice reporting, the new change that has come up recently. This is how the e-waybill tab looks like. Say, when I click on the e-waybill option that is there on the right side of the corner, import e-waybill data, this is how recipient details, trade names that appears. If I put on the processed records here, these are the records. If I select all, or if I select pertaining to 1 or 2 invoices, and if I import it, the details will get automatically imported from e-invoice. If e-waybill. If e-invoice is enabled, automatically that will get reflected. Now coming to GSTR1 B2C large invoices. Notification number 12, friends, has come up with respect to CGST, wherein revised reporting threshold for interstate sales to unregistered or consumer parties have been notified. Wherein earlier, what we used to do is in B2C large section, if we used to report only where the values exceeds 2.5 lakhs. So previously, the threshold for such reporting was 2.5 lakhs. Now, interstate sales made, if I am say from if Virat Kohli is in Andhra Pradesh and Arpan is in Telangana, and say Virat Kohli is unregistered, interstate sales, if I'm making to an unregistered or consumer parties exceeding 1 lakh, must be reported in B2CL section of GSTR1. Say if the cost of the bat was 2 lakhs. So earlier, if you ask 2.5 lakhs, I'm only supposed to record in B2C, that's it. Anything over and above 2.5 lakhs, if there are transactions, then I used to report in B2CL. Now they say they have reduced the limit to 1 lakh. So if I say sell a cricket bat to Virat Kohli for 2 lakhs rupees, now I'm supposed to report it. The effective date of this implementation, the change was from August 1, 2024. So now it is introduced. Sales less than 1 lakh, this will continue to be reported in B2CA section. Applicability, the change applies to regular taxpayer and SEZ. For both of them, the change applies. This is for both like GSTR1 and GSTR5. What are the key changes GSTR3B? See, why I'm not even asking questions why it has been done, etc., because this is a procedural or this change wherein let us understand. If it is 2.5 lakhs, we used to report 2.5 lakhs. Now they have made it to 1 lakh, we'll report 1 lakhs, because it is more of a reporting aspect. Wherever required, we'll try to make it interactive and we'll try to understand how it is, why it is done, and how it can be, how we can improvise on that. Now coming to key changes in GSTR3B. Adjustment of negative liability is there. They have introduced adjustment of negative liability from previous tax periods, if any, has now been implemented in form GSTR3B, effective from September 2024. I still remember wherever I used to have physical sessions, at least alternatively, in 2 sessions, at least one doubt what I used to get is how to address this negative liability situation and any change that has been implemented. After again a period of 7 to 8 years, this change has been introduced, wherein we were suffering. What I was supposed to do is say portal GSTR3B, GSTR1 used to take credit note. Portal GSTR3B will not have option to record negative values. By that, what I was forced to do is I was forced to make computation in Excel, record it. Always remember, say suppose if there is a credit note that was issued in the month of April 2024, there was no positive values in April, no positive values in May, no positive values in June 24, no positive values in July 24. However, a positive value comes in August 24. Each and every month I used to track, I used to open the computation, I used to check whether any values that are being missed. Or say suppose in when we were doing annual return for the very first time, we have started annual return GST 9 and 9C in the year 2020. Pre-COVID, post-COVID, we have started GST annual returns. However, while filing GST 9 and 9C, we have ourselves realized couple of cases where the returns were filed by the accountant or the client itself, wherein we have realized that the negative values were not considered in the subsequent months, and that was a loss to the registered taxpayer, because for him, just a second, I'm just reading the chats. There are 11 messages here. Done. Okay. So we have seen a couple of cases where the amount was missed, because for government, see, always remember, and I will make you realize. Do you want me to be a bit louder, or that is fine?
That is fine.
That is fine, right? Yeah. Okay. So see, I will make you realize that when the government brings changes, always it should be two-sided effect, right? It should be in the benefit of department. Also, it should be benefit of registered taxpayers. Many of the times that is not the case. Say if one such cases, credit notes, if you want to issue, or any invoices with respect to the previous year, you can only issue till the subsequent year, September month. Now they have made it to November, 30th of November. However, that is not the case for collection of tax. If I want to reduce the liability, the government says there is a time limit that has been prescribed. However, for increase in tax liability, there is no time limit that has been prescribed. That is undue against the principle of natural justice, but that is there. The same way, people were missing on this negative tax aspect. Per se looks this thing, but it was very important. What I have done is I have opened the GST portal. I've just entered -100 for the satisfaction of viewers, whether the portal is accepting negative values or not. I can tell you, yes, from now on, it is accepting a negative liability. And also, two slides before what we have discussed, I have shown you the ledgers that are being prescribed now. There was negative liability ledger for composition taxpayers and also negative liability ledger for regular taxpayers. The negative values, what you will report here will get, there is a ledger that has been there. How electronic cash ledger or credit ledger that has been prescribed, from here on, for negative cash liability, there is a ledger that has been prescribed. It will form part of the negative liability ledger. Automatically, say in the same month, if you see, if I have central tax payable, it will get adjusted. Now here it is reverse charge, but if it has central tax payable, it will get adjusted. Otherwise, in subsequent month, the portal itself will auto-populate and it will adjust it. But for few months, because the change is recently introduced, what we are supposed to do is, for at least for a month or two, we are supposed to manually go back and check whether the portal has adjusted the liabilities or not. But as of now, the portal is adjusting the liabilities, negative liabilities here. Coming to the subsequent slide. Reduction in fees with respect to GSTR 7. TDS deductors. Say, for all persons required to deduct TDS, furnishing of GSTR 7 has been made mandatory, irrespective of whether any deduction has been made in the said month or not, as per Finance Act. See, what used to happen is, I will tell you here. Say if I am doing government contracts, or if I am into XYZ services, what I used to do is, I used to file TDS returns only in the month where if there is any TDS that got deducted. Otherwise, drawing the analogy from income tax, that is not required. I used to not to file the returns. However, just a second. However, from here on, the government clarified that late fees has been reduced from June 2021 as follows. What the government has done is, if you are filing nil, government said first you are supposed to file the returns irrespective, even if there is a nil, no tax that got deducted, you are supposed to file the returns. And then what it has told is, nil returns filers, government says it will not attract any late fee. And other than nil returns, it will be rupees 50 per day, CGST and SGST, up to a maximum of rupees 2000. They have reduced the late fee. GST at 2A versus 3B. By now, we all are aware again, at least to the extent of GST at 2A and 3B, 2A, 2B or 2A, 3B, I can tell you at least 2A, 2B. We are aware. 2A is dynamic, 2B is static. At least we can make it interactive here. Again, see, purposefully I've kept 2A, 2B. The intent is again to compare it with 1A and IMS. So that is the reason a brief understanding of what is 2A, what is 2B, if we are not aware of, I've just kept one slide. At least here, can we have an interactive this thing? What is GST at 2A? Again, earlier not notified. However, we are aware that it was very dynamic. From 1/4/1/2022, the government said they are introducing before itself they have introduced 2B, but they have told it is static. Only for a particular period, the data will get reported, and it would be a static this thing. No specific cutoff dates. Real-time updates, GST at 2A will get real-time, it will get updated real-time basis. However, 2B will be generated on 14th of every month. Invoice dated 25th October, filed by the supplier on 10th of November, will appear in GST at 2A of October. However, here it will be reflected on the subsequent this thing. Now, just for the sake, again, practical this thing, let us discuss. If majority of the what we say notices and other aspects, the department, what it is doing is, it is considering GST at 2A. It is considering GST at 2A, the data from tax comparison reports. I hope you also have this thing that if you would have noticed, department considers values of GST at 2A as per tax comparison reports that is been there in the given in the returns tab. Correct or wrong? I'm trying to give some practical insights and share with you people. At least comment in the chat box. I got one from Harishji that it is correct. For rest of everyone, have you encountered this, that department is considering GST at 2A values? For say, if you would have encountered 17-18 assessment or 18-19, okay. Saurabh Aditya Garu said that true. So I will tell you that the tax values that has been derived by the department is only from tax comparison reports. If there is a difference between GST at 2 and 3B, I will also insist you to download monthly GST at 2A returns. I will also insist you to download monthly GST at 2A returns, compile it, like total it. In many of the occasions, say if you are using software, say Specta or ClearTax, some softwares are there. They are generating us 2 reports. GST at 2 as per portal, GST at 2A updated as per software. You will see that there is a change in values. If there is a change in value from the software, or if you are not using software, I would at least tell you that please go back and download the monthly GST at 2A reports for that particular period, compile it, and if there is a difference, please submit this data to the department, because department is like, they are not intending to consider the updated values. And in fact, in couple of assessments, I have like literally argued them that this is something which is already available on the portal and you are supposed to consider. When it is again, many of the times aspects differ, say facts differs. If the client or the registered person is registered in state department, if it is registered or assessed under central jurisdiction, again the scenarios differ. The state department usually considers that sir portal ఏది ఉంటే మేమైతే అదే కన్సిడర్ చేస్తాం. For him, even if you download and give the data, is of no use. However, I would tell that please give it in writing that these are the aspects to be considered. Don't just tell them or convey it over phone or when you meet them in person. Give them in writing that sir this is updated from the portal. Draw some chart and give it to them so that is how things would be for your good use. And even if it is not being considered in appellate forum, in tribunal, on one shot, in one hearing, your case would be in your favor. Hope I'm sounding good. This is with respect to 2A. The practical aspects I'm telling of GST 2A where we are facing difficulty in the current scenario. The recent changes with respect to 2A is 2A got this circular got issued that we are department is considering. However, this aspect probably I see if you incorporate in your submissions, that would be advantage in your practice. Now coming to the subsequent this thing. DRC 01B, DRC 01C. Can anyone tell what is DRC 01B and C? Automated GST notices addressing mismatches. See, DRC 01B and DRC 01C are automated notices. I still remember the day when DRC 01B, DRC 01C was introduced. We have compiled, we have prepared a short update, we have shared it in the online forum, etc., etc. When in one of the client, we have received a notice in DRC 01C with respect to ITC mismatch. I will address it. You will get astonished that the department, when I am talking to the assistant commissioner there, he's like, sir, we haven't issued any notice. You have not received any notice. It is a myth that he has called you and told you. He is not aware that system itself has sent the notice. I am telling him, sir, some notice has been received. మీరు పంపించారా అంటే సార్ మేము పంపించలేదు. I told sir at least look in the portal, your team would have sent, and it's like we are not even aware of this kind of aspect, because see, always understand department gets plus 2 years additional time to get themselves updated. However, that is not the case of with us. So what we have done is, I will just tell you what we have done after this slide. So the further time being understand, DRC 01B and DRC 01C are automated GST notices addressing mismatches. The purpose of they being introduced was to ensure accuracy in tax liability and ITC claims. It is to ensure accuracy. DRC 01B is with respect to sales. C is with respect to ITC. 1B, what it talks about is tax liability mismatches between GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B or IFF or GSTR 3B. Whereas for C, it is DRC 01C, it is ITC mismatches between GSTR 3B and GSTR 2B. The actions that would be required is you have to understand the reasons for differences. If you have genuinely have reasons for differences, either it could be timing difference or say suppose you have taken ITC for the previous period in the current month. At that point of time, you have not paid, not taken the credit, but you have taken it now. Or with respect to tax, you would have not paid then and you have paid now. So if any timing difference is there, please respond it. There is an online option that is being provided. If you respond to the notice that is been received, system will allow you to file the return. Otherwise, if no action is been taken on DRC 01B and DRC 01C, the portal will not allow you to file the return as well. So what we are supposed to do and how we are supposed to respond. Log into the portal, return services, return compliance. If you can recollect, we have discussed 2 additional changes in return step. One is return compliance and other is IMS. So we have to select the respective DRC 01B or 01C and address this mismatch. one point of practical this thing is, if say suppose you are getting some error in GST return filing, once go back and check this GST return compliance tab. Many of the times we are not aware that a notice has been received because client's email ID or phone number that would be given. We are not aware of the receipt of notice, but we are trying hard to file the returns. These problems we have faced initially when the DRC1B and C were introduced, but I'm trying to tell you that if a return is not, we are not able to file the return, please go back and check the return compliance tab with respect to DRC01B and C. Now with respect to the department, then we have filed the return online. We have not even told to the department then, because at that point of time when they are not aware of, why to again वो बोलते हैं सोता हुआ शेयर हम उठाए क्यों? So we have not even touched them. From there on, we would have received 3 to 4 times. We are responding on the portal itself, and automatically it is allowing us to file the subsequent returns. The key takeaway here is, when it comes to DRC, when it comes to filing of GSTR1, always ensure that you are filing GSTR1, at least don't keep it for 11th, but keep it for 10th. Lastly, see, if 1 or 2 returns filed on 11th, that is fine, because what is happening is, we are not aware. Say, when you're filing the GSTR1 for the client on 11th or at 6:30 p.m., you realize a notice is being issued with respect to DRC01B or C. You are asking the clients to prepare the necessary computation. It may take some time again, but if you don't file your GSTR1 in time, it won't get reflected in the to the customers of the client. If it is not being reflected, the payments are being halted and the working capital gets affected. So GSTR1 plays a very prima facie importance from here on. Then coming to GSTR1A. Just give me a second. GSTR1A. This advisory dated 26th July 2024. I have prepared a summary for you people, GSTR1A, and manuals and FAQs dated 1st August 2024. Key silent features of Form GSTR1A, that the government, again, what I will try to do from here on is the changes will try to go ahead, and then later we'll brief it up for our easy reference. Okay. The government-wide notification number 12/2024, what they have done is they have introduced Form GSTR1A, and understand GSTR1A, if you look at into the third, this thing is an optional facility. Is an optional facility. This can be filed only once for a particular tax period. Say, the government, sir, what is optional, what is not, let us forget it for the time being. I will try to summarize GSTR1A for you people. GSTR1A is with respect to sales. What we were doing, we were filing GSTR1. If there is any change that needs to be done in GSTR1, by when you are supposed to do? We used to wait for the next month GST return. Correct me if I'm wrong. See, earlier I was not having any option. If I want to file GSTR1, I was filing it. But if any change, say suppose I have missed reporting one invoices or any change that needs to be done in that invoice, I used to wait for the next month. Probably by then, till then, my payment was used to be, they used to kept it on hold, or probably the moment if I have not filed, but if I say suppose I have shown one invoice which actually was not, say I have shown one invoice that cricket bat sold to Virat Kohli for 1 crore instead of 1 lakh, and the auto-populated values were say 18 lakhs instead of 18,000. For the timing, let us understand. Arpan Bohra is a very small person, very small taxpayer. Do you want me to pay 18 lakhs now and later issue a credit notes and adjust it, or should I go ahead and just pay 18,000 for the time being? Though the values auto-populated is 18 lakhs. See, in the given one scenario case law, like scenario example illustration, I have sold cricket bat to Virat Kohli for 1 lakh. GST component was 18,000. I was ready to pay. Instead of 1 lakh, I have mistakenly entered 2 zeros extra. GST1 is filed. The same used to get auto-populated in GSTR 3B. Now GST portal is asking me to pay 18 lakhs rupees. Should I go ahead and pay or not is the question. I hope I'm giving very small and layman examples for easy understanding. Vamshi Krishna Garu has said, no, pay rupees 18,000 only. See, again, I went with the the knowledge shared by this thing. Then I have paid this thing, like 18,000 rupees I have shown in my GSTR2, GSTR3B, and I have paid. Understand why I have taken DRC01B, 01C. The moment I pay only 18,000 here, system will throw me a notice in the form of DRC01B that in GSTR1 you have shown so and so amount. In GSTR3, while filing GSTR3B, you have filed so and so. Yeah, you have shown 18 lakhs payable in GSTR1. You have shown 18,000 rupees only in filing GSTR3B. Then the government realized, see, ultimately it is increasing the workload of the stakeholders, the department and the assessee. So what the government has done is they have introduced DRC01A. They have introduced DRC01A, stating that any changes that needs to be done, you can do it before filing of your GSTR 3B. Understood? I hope I'm very clear, sir and madam here. So what the government says, it is being made available from August 2024. And then effect. Say suppose if I make the change of 10 lakhs, again I make from 1 crore to 1 lakh, GSTR 3B, the moment I file my GSTR 1A, it will give the effect with respect to sales. Say suppose if I am Arpan, I have sold cricket bat, in my GSTR 1, it will get reflected in the same month. Well, before my GSTR 3B, if I make the change, 18,000 rupees is what the value that will get auto-populated if I amend the invoice. If when it comes to recipient, because I filed my GSTR1 by the due date, GSTR2 cutoff date by 11th, it will take the data. What it will do is it will reflect in GSTR2 with the amended values only in the subsequent month. I'm trying to be slow so that the important topics will understand, no, will never forget it then. From the supplier's perspective in 3B, same month the effect should be given, and in the recipient 2B in the subsequent month. Available. When it will be available in the GST portal is the question. So due date of filing GSTR1 or actual date of filing GSTR1, whichever is later. GSTR1 would be available. So suppose if I filed my GSTR1 on 7th, it will be available on 11th. The due date, whichever is later. 7th or 11th, whichever is later. If I filed my GSTR1 on 12th, then it will be GSTR1A would be available on 12th. Harish Garu has asked me to explain the example once again. Which example you are referring to, Harish Garu? GSTR 11A. See, Harish Garu, the example with respect to Virat Kohli is very simple. See, I'm trying to make the lives very simple by giving examples so that we'll remember for long. I have sold cricket bat for 1 lakh rupees to Virat Kohli. 18,000 rupees is what I'm supposed to discharge. Instead of, while filing GSTR1, I have given this task to one of our staff. Instead of 1 lakh, they have entered 2 zeros extra. 0.00 was there in the invoice. They have entered it as, say, for the timing for easy calculation, they have entered it as 1 crore. Now, the portal is asking me in GST 2 auto-populated data, it is asking me for the liability of 18 lakhs rupees that I'm supposed to pay, which I will not be in a position to. I'm very small taxpayer. Then what I will do is I will open GSTR 1A, post my GSTR 1 filing, it will be available. I will open GSTR 1A. I will amend those that invoice. Instead of waiting for the next month, I will amend it here itself. And then I will file my GSTR 3B so that it will get filed accurately and I will avoid the future notice. See, even you can see as if I'm one of the what we say, if I'm listening to this thing, for me, one of the thought process would be like, I can manually edit it. I'm not telling you you will not be in a position to edit it. You will be in a position to. But the moment you edit it manually, you are inviting a future notice. So the correct course of action would be file GSTR 1A and then file GSTR 3B so that it would be an accurate filing and you will be avoiding the notice. Now coming to the availability. Availability we have discussed, right? Again, we have one question. I filed credit notes in GSTR 1 and I amended the credit notes and removed in GSTR 1A. How will the credit notes appear in GSTR to be next month to the recipient? It will appear in the next month itself, madam. For the recipient, it is next month. For the supplier, it is in the same month. Again, try to understand. Let us not go into complexities. A few people would be interested, few people would not be, but for recipient, it is the next month GSTR 2B that would be reflected in, because again, cutoff time is gone. GSTR, see, understand, GSTR 1A, the due date is post 11th. By then, GSTR 1 is filed, 2B would be generated on 14th based on the data pre-filed. So it will be appearing in the month of subsequent month. Now coming to the next this thing. Example I have written, say October 2024 GST return we have discussed. Available till form GSTR 3B is filed. See again, if I file my GSTR 3B, then can I file my GSTR 1A? No. The pop-up will open only till GSTR 3B is filed. Once 3B is filed, then we cannot file GSTR 1A. Taxpayer can't file Form GSTR 1 for the month until he files Form GSTR 3B for the previous month. Okay. Change or amendment with respect to GSTN. See, change or amendment with respect to GSTN is not possible. I can amend all other particulars. Say, if I have sold cricket bat to Virat Kohli, I cannot amend GSTN of Virat Kohli in GSTR 1A, except GSTN address or other details, values, etc., that can be updated on. However, GSTN cannot be done. So when we are filing GST returns for a client, or for if you are into industry and you are filing GST returns where you have registrations in multiple states, then remember that it will not allow you to change GSTN. Rest all the particulars will be allowed. See, let us see how it is visible. Just a second, I'm sharing my screen again. Now it's visible. The screen is visible. Please confirm.
Yes, Arpan, it is visible.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So now coming to the dashboard, how it looks. So now say now GSTR 1 is not filed. If GSTR 1 is not filed, GSTR 1A won't be visible because it will be visible post filing or due date, whichever is later. Then GST returns dashboard after filing GSTR 1, but before filing GSTR 3B. You can see the amendment of outward supplies of goods or services for the current tax period. GSTR 1 status is filed. GSTR 1A got auto-populated. Visible? So now you can see that there is GSTR 1A, GSTR 2A, 2B, etc. along with GSTR 3B. Same dashboard, post-filing GSTR 3B. Whatever we have discussed is what we are trying to see through slides. What I've done in one of the client, I have taken snip before filing a GSTR 1, after filing GSTR 1, before filing after filing GSTR 3B. So that for your reference, that GSTR 1 is, see, it is not allowing us to file now. That is what we have explained in the preceding slides. Just a second. Give me a second. Okay. So I will try to summarize this way, that we have to understand when it can be filed, how it gets, how we do file GSTR 1, the same way GSTR 1A is to be filed. There is no major change. Just we have to, we should have our understanding that how we do GSTR 1, the same way GSTR 1A is to be filed. So same login, navigate, download the details, etc., etc. The same things hold good. Step 2 file is taxpayer can follow the step. Add the amended records, click on generate summary, proceed to file statement. Same aspects are covered in GSTR 1 as well. If you look into, this is only to make you understand that was 1A are nothing but twins that who are born. Only thing is 1 has come all the way long, and 1A is department is being introducing after the span of say 8 years. However, see 4A, 5, 6A, 7, even tab numbers, etc., are almost the same. So 1A are more of like twins with same identities or similar identities, I can tell you. Review from GSTR 1A summary and consolidated summary of GSTR 1 and 1A. If you look into, like while submitting GSTR 1A, it will give us comparison between what was earlier in GST forming part of GSTR 1 and 1A. It is for our easy reference. That if, say, suppose if I have made change, only I can go back and I can look to that change, that's it. Last step is to again file it with OTP or DSC. Coming to IMS. Any doubts with respect to 1A? I will just look into chat box also. Deepti has asked me a question. What we'll do is we'll park this and we'll take it at the end. Any questions with respect to understanding or basic details with respect to GST or 1A? Else we'll take the questions at the last. IMS. What is IMS? Can anyone tell? By now, we are aware of what is IMS, is that it enables taxpayers to efficiently address invoice corrections or amendments with the supplier through the portal. So IMS is for the recipient, say whoever avail the ITC, it is from ITC perspective. A new communication process is being bought at the portal. This will facilitate, etc., etc. These are the advisories also issued by the department. Various multiple advisories has been issued, and I have compiled it for easy reference. It will be available from October 2024 month. Like 14 November was the very first day when we have looked into what is IMS. How to access dashboard, services, returns tab, IMS. We have already seen in the very first slide of the GST portal. We have seen that returns compliance and IMS was there. And then file GSTR 2B would be generated for the period October 24 on 14th November, considering actions taken on IMS. The first GSTR 2B would be generated after taking the actions on IMS on 14th. It is optional. Understand, GSTR 1A and even IMS is optional. It has also been clarified via advisory dated 14th of October. It is optional. Say, it is not that you have to mandatorily file IMS. However, if you want to do any changes like what we'll be discussing in the subsequent slides, then you have to file the IMS. Otherwise, it is optional. The source for the subsequent slide is from draft manual on IMS, FAQs on IMS, advisory on IMS, additional FAQs on IMS. IMS introduction. So, here I have only taken the inward supplies, but now if you go back and see, there is suppliers view also available, but to avoid confusion, I have taken inward supplies in IMS for our discussion. This is how, when I open IMS, it looks like. It is more of like B2B invoices amendments, B2B invoices debit notes, amendments, credit notes amendments, invoices with respect to e-commerce operators and amendments. What we are supposed to do here is, there are 4 action points: no action, accepted, rejected, pending. See here, accepted, rejected, pending. So what we are supposed to do is, we are supposed to either accept, reject, or keep it pending, is what the option that is available with us. Now what here it is, say if it is accept, what will happen is, if the invoices that is being reflected in the IMS dashboard, if you accept, it will move from IMS to GSTR 2B as accepted. It will form part of your GSTR 2B of that month. If you reject it, it will not form part of your GSTR 2B of that month. If you keep it as pending, it will stay in IMS and shall not form part of your GSTR 2B. If you don't take any action, it will be like it is deemed accepted. See, if I am selling cricket bat to Virat Kohli, IMS will be visible. Say this entry, this invoice of 18,000 rupees will be visible in either Arpan or Virat Kohli. It will be visible on Virat Kohli's dashboard, IMS. So in Virat Kohli's dashboard, if say suppose 1 lakh rupees and 18,000 rupees is being visible, if Virat Kohli accept, it will come into a GSTR 2B of the same month. If he rejects, it will not come into the GSTR 2B at all. If he keeps it pending, it will not form part of GSTR 2B. Or if you don't act, it is more of like a deemed acceptance and it will form part of GSTR 2B. Generation of draft GSTR 2B. Filed invoices or records shall only be considered in computation of ITC. And another aspect is, if action is taken later in IMS, GSTR 2B shall be regenerated. See, unlike GSTR 1A, which can be filed only once, that is not the case with IMS. IMS, it is more of like I can regenerate IMS multiple times. Like GSTR 2B earlier was more of static. See, on 14th data, that GSTR 2B cannot be modified. Now the government has come up with IMS concept wherein they says that a draft GSTR 2B is generated. If you act on it, you can generate GSTR, regenerate GSTR 2B. If you don't act on it, say no acceptance or no action is taken, then the government says the GSTR draft GSTR 2B, whatever that is being generated, that will be your final GSTR 2B. Number of revisions, I'm telling you, n number of times you can regenerate GSTR 2B. So you don't have any what we say restrictions on generations of GSTR 2B. However, the number of generations is restricted till the filing of GSTR 3B. So once GSTR 3B is filed, then you cannot act on IMS for that particular month. Not available in IMS. This is something which we have to understand. Time barred ITC. Say suppose GSTR in the GSTR 2B, if an invoice with respect to 2020, like say 1st April 2020 dated invoice is being filed now, it won't be appearing in our IMS. Ineligible ITC, POS issue. Say suppose hotel related example, I will tell you. Say I have stayed in Taj Hotel in Andhra Pradesh, Vijayawada. I have on the invoice CGST and SGST is being charged, and I have given my 36 Telangana's GST number. Then the portal itself will configure it, and it will tell that I am not eligible to claim CGST and SGST of Andhra Pradesh as per ITC rules, and it will restrict it. And also the important aspect is it will not be even available in my IMS. Reverse charge mechanism, any RCM related aspects will not form part of IMS. It will come directly in the 2B. Import transactions, bill of entry will not form part of. GSTR file, GSTR 6, ISD, NRTP, no. GSTR 7, reversal of ITC in case of non-payment of tax by the supplier and re-availment. So these are the aspects that will not be forming part of IMS. Steps that we have to make our business IMS ready. Transact with the compliant vendors and customers. So this is again and again from the last 4 or 5 years from our the time our lady finance minister has come into, she's again and again she's reiterating, irrespective of it. I don't know whose workload is increasing. For me, it is that you do the business with the right vendors, compliant vendors is what she's talking about, and the right customers and the compliant customers. This is been told from 2000, like pre-COVID, it has been clearly made understood that it is the time, it is not an VAT era or service tax era, whether you have paid, whether you have not paid, sab chalega. So it is a time where we have to ask our clients, say many of the times client says that if he has not paid, what should I do? It is clear cut when the finance ministry herself, they are telling that you do and trade with the right vendors who are compliant. Even our job is to make them aware of the same. Now, a recent, there was interaction with our principal commissioner and also the principal secretary when it comes to state. We had this multiple interaction on the same points, like why there is a burden of the other person thrown on me. Say, I need to check whether he's filing he's filing GSTR1. I need to check whether he has paid taxes on the GSTR3 through GSTR3B on the said invoice. I am acting as a security or the CCTV camera of the other person, for which I should see. I am entitled to do my business. Why should I interact with him and I should see whether he's compliant enough or not? However, even the principal commissioner, sir, and even the state, the principal secretary to the state has clearly told, the commissioner of state tax clearly told that you have to mandatorily do the business with the compliant persons if you don't want to get into the trouble. But if you tell that why I should do their job, why should I do necessary reconciliations, etc., they don't have any answers, because they are telling again and again, we are telling, do the business with the compliant vendors and customer. Again, steps to make businesses IMS ready is to coordinate with the suppliers for timely filing of returns, that we are anyway doing. Train your compliance team and equip yourself and stay updated, that we are supposed to do, and that is a major reason we are here. Ensure your ERP is integrated and get periodicals, and we have to see that the periodical training should be get. See, what happens is, if if it is two persons, if there are 10 invoices in IMS, or if there are 15 invoices in IMS, 20, maximum 50, maximum 100, you can accept, reject, keep it pending. Say, for an entity who has not less than 3,000 invoices in a particular month, it becomes a challenge for them. So that is the reason this IMS should be integrated with the ERP, the software, and action needs to be taken accordingly. For this, at least the businesses will need at least 3 to 4 months of time to get integrated. Maker checker concept wherever possible. That is how we are supposed to. That if suppose I have prepared IMS, someone else should check it for the time being. That is how we are supposed to integrate and make our businesses or our clients' businesses IMS ready. When it comes to our this thing, we have to tell our team to update themselves on the IMS aspect and see whether to accept, reject, and this thing. For this, what we have to do is, again, we have to coordinate with the client. Before we step into this IM FAQs, majority of the questions we'll try to understand with the help of an example here. Just give me a second. Yeah, with respect to IMS, before we go into FAQs, what we are supposed to do is we should ask our team to. So what 4 action points we are supposed to do? We are supposed to take: accept, reject, keep it pending, or no action. No action is deemed acceptance. So we have 3 aspects. If we don't act, it is as good as every month how GST 2B was being generated. The same GST 2B will be generated now. Then what the government has come up with: accept, reject, or keep it pending. If what I can tell you is, at least ask your team. I will summarize what all the aspects, and FAQs will. I'll just look into the time. FAQs will look into. I will summarize all the FAQs in very short. Unless until, say, suppose if the item that is being appearing in IMS, say, or the GST 2B, say, suppose that is completely irrelevant to your business. You have not even heard the name of the party. Some wrong GST he has put, so that is the reason it is falling under your IMS tab or your 2B. Only take reject actions on those invoices. Only reject the invoices if it is completely, you are aware that it is nowhere you have heard the name of that party. Otherwise, don't act. Say, many of the times I get a doubt. See, I'm not going into chat sections as of now, because the moment I'm looking into the chat, it is more of like a 1 minute I'm not talking, and other people may not understand that. We'll look into the questions once and we'll try to address it. If you can unmute yourself and you can ask, so that there would be right interaction and a flow that would be there. So in IMS, what we are supposed to do is, if we are sure that this is not forming part of, let us reject it. Otherwise, take no action. Because the accepting pending, for say, if you have 10 invoices for a particular client, then try it on 1 or 2 clients, because unless you try, you will not be aware of what are the actions that you are supposed to take. So try, say, accept everything, accept all. There is again like filter kind of an option that is been given as well. I'm looking into the chat section. I got 4 chats, so just give me a second. Vivek Ji tells that can government mandates how business is to be carried out. I can tell you from the last 5 to 10 years, it is one side direction that has been going on. Not directly, but indirectly. It is more of like, it is being told, or it is being it is ordered that it is to be done this way. And I believe that hardly we have any voice here. Even our institute, hardly I believe that it has any voice. However, see, some aspects are good. Some aspects have almost done good for the this thing, because the earlier it was 2A. All the notices were with respect to 2A. Now, if you go back and when the 2B got implemented, I believe that 50% of the notices will be able to avoid. Post implementation of IMH 1A and other aspects, aspects, another 20% of the notices we will be able to avoid. New notices, probably yes, with some different reasons if they wish to, but the existing system generated notices we were used to, right? At least to that tune, I believe that we'll be able to avoid. And again, I will just look into the chats and then we'll take up till the option will be available to accept or reject. It will be available, Naresh ji, the option to accept or reject, it will be available till the time GSTR 3B is filed. There is no due date. The due date is till before you file GSTR 3B. If the customer has rejected my invoice, how would it impact me? I already showed in GSTR 1 and paid the tax in GSTR 3B. Sir, in next month GST returns, you can what we say, if he has rejected and you believe that it is to be rejected, like a credit note is to be issued, then you can issue a credit note in subsequent month and reduce your supplies. Because see, you would have filed GSTR1, that is the reason it got appeared in his IMS, and that is the reason he would have rejected. And say suppose if he has rejected unintentionally, see, it is at very nice stage. We are into a very what we say stage of implementation where everything is new. So inadvertent mistakes happens. So then the government himself, they have issued an advisory that first, if again we'll come to that advisory also. So name is not visible, SHA is visible, but again we'll come back to this question. How would it impact the supplier if ITC is rejected by one of the customers? Would they impact one or more GST returns of the supplier? See, if ITC is rejected by the customer, if it is, I believe it is knowingly rejected. So what you can do is, if there is an issue with the service or something, you can issue a credit note in the subsequent month and necessary action and reduce your liability. If it is by mistake, so what you can do is, we have to, because it is only the first month the IMS that has been introduced. Actually, it was supposed to be introduced from 1st of October and 14th October was the first time the IMS should be implemented. However, that has not happened. It was made, it was made effective from 1st of November, given 14th November was the very first time. So as and when we pass 2 to 3 months, we better understand this kind of concepts again. Will there be any notification we will get if the recipients reject the invoice after GSTR 3B filing? Will there be any notification we will get recipient reject the invoice? See, again understand, GSTR 3B, irrespective of it, say if he's rejecting, there is a supplier view also available in IMS. What we have to do in supplier view is only go and check for the invoices if they have rejected or made any if they have taken any actions. Pending accepted is okay, but if they have rejected, that actions you can take and you can incorporate. Say if it is rejected, whether credit note needs to be issued or why it is been rejected. Say if it is been rejected inadvertently, he has tried he has tried entering accept rejective and it got filed. Then probably what you can do is you can issue a fresh invoice and see that ITC has been passed on. Is IMS already made active, or if not, yes, Naresh Kumarji, IMS is made active, and you have to see that before you file your GSTR 3B, go back and check IMS. I can tell you, because last month at least we were all occupied, but if any GSTR 3B, what I will do is in last 5-10 minutes, I will just open any of my client this thing. I will take you through the portal where all the options that are being visible. So for our better understanding. So I have done with the questions. Again, I will come to the topic IMS. So we will be taking actions: accept, reject, pending, no action. Better option will always be no action. And if it is accept, reject, better it would be a client that we have to send the generated to be, and we have to confirm with the client. What we have to do is we have to always also check suppliers tab, wherein if we have filed any returns and in their IMS they have rejected it. For that, we have to use the supplier view. I will show you. Live demo is also what I will show you. First, let us understand one primary aspect that the government missed while giving IMS is that, if you remember, how many of us remember that earlier there was GSTR 1, 2, 3, wherein, say if I missed, earlier there were 5 returns: GSTR 1, 1A, 2, 2A, and then 3. Say if I have, say if the other person, I have filed my GSTR 1, it was not visible in his GST at 2A. Then he used to file GST at 2 and include that invoice in his GST return, in his GST at 2, and that invoice will get auto-populated in my supply GST at 1A, and then he used to take the credit and he can file his GST at 3. That was the actual intention of the model law or the GST law when introduced. I was all excited to see when the IMS got implemented whether this option they would have implemented. Otherwise, for a recipient, IMS is most important. If, say, suppose I have taken few services from a client, if he has failed to file his GSTR1 and it is not appearing in my GSTR2B, how bad it is on my part that even for that I have to pay interest. I have already paid my GST amount to him. He has missed filing GSTR1 for XYZ reason, but still I am punished at the fault of him. So I was very excited when IMS came. When I was reading advisories, FAQs, everything, I was very excited and I was of the belief that this option would have been implemented. But the government says no. So still today, if we have anything to add in IMS, we don't have any option. We only have an option either to accept, reject, keep it pending, or no action. So this is the big drawback I have observed when it comes to implementation, because it was actually the intent of the law. And say if I am dealing with only one party, by XYZ reason, he has missed filing his GSTR1. So the transactions are in crores. Do you understand the impact of it on my GSTR2B? No transactions will appear in GSTR2B. Everything I have to pay it in cash. Hope I am making sense. Everything I have to make in cash, and it impacts my working capital. And even if I include it, because GSTR3B is allowing editing manually, if I implement it, I edit it and I enter manually, still I have to bear the burden of interest for 1 month, which is again harsh because he has anyway paid the liability in his GSTR3B. One he got he missed, he filed it on 13th or 12th. Still, I am supposed to pay interest for the 1 month. That harsh the law is still, and I call it as one side love. It is all the department that they are favoring. Why IMS is required, boss? How good it is favoring the what we say, the taxpayer, I'm not very sure of. But again, given this thing, we have to comply. Understand? So that is where, see, there are n number of FAQs. Everything is given, compiled at a one place for you to easily understand. Credit note given, etc., etc. But let us understand the importance of it so that when we talk to the clients or when we are in front of businessmen or the other forums, we have to help them understand the intent and the IMS, what it is and how far that would be. And we have to always tell them that the work is like, because of this new introductions, compliance is becoming tough and tough. Unless until you tell, they will not be in a position to understand. For them, it is like, again, two returns, GST1, 3B, वही तो कर रहे हो ना आप. That is what they will tell. But that is not the case.
Sir, excuse me, one
Yes,
doubt.
yes, ma'am. Yes, please.
Sir, in the previous example, you were mentioning that if they missed in one and we edit the 3B, we should be paying 1 month's interest.
Correct.
So my question is, that person who had missed the one, obviously he will be paying with interest, no?
Yes.
So on the same liability, we are paying 2 times interest.
No, he will not. He will not be paying with interest. No, he has missed filing in his GSTR1 by 11th. However, he has filed his GSTR1 on 12th.
Okay, so in
GSTR3B got
3B he will be
auto-populated by in 3B he has paid in time. He has filed his 3B on 18th, incorporating the auto-populated figures, and he has paid the taxes due within time.
Okay.
But as if you check from the recipient's end, section 16 conditions, in
Yes.
that it is given that unless until it form part of my 2B, I am not able to
2B.
take the credit.
Sir, in case if it is filed in the next month, for example.
That's what. Next month I will be able to, but for 1 month, even if I purposefully I want to take the amount, then I'm supposed to pay interest. Say if I am
So
not taking, say suppose out of 100, one customer has not paid, not filed his GST 1 in time. What I can do is I will eliminate that one invoice. I will keep it for the next month.
Okay. Okay.
I'm talking a scenario. Say those 100 invoices, I have only one vendor, one person from whom I make all the purchases.
Okay.
He missed inadvertently or through some technical glitch, or his accountant person expired, whatever the reason. He filed on 12th.
Okay.
Understand the scenario. See, if it say suppose if the tax liability is 6 crores, I have paid 6 crores on 18th in my GST
Okay.
3B. But say suppose if Dipti, you are the person who is receiving the service, the goods or services, because it is not appearing in your 2B, either you are supposed to pay the entire amount and file your GST or 3B. If you take the credit,
Okay.
you are supposed to pay interest from 1 month, because actually it will be auto populating in your GST or 2B in subsequent month only.
Okay. Okay.
So
So
this
even
what
the
what
liability is
I
discharged in
yes,
3B, still we are liable to pay that 1 month
because
interest.
for you it is the section 16 conditions you are supposed to satisfy. So
Yes.
I was
2B it must
expecting,
be.
that is the reason I was expecting when IMS was introduced, I was very excited that certain option that would be given to the recipient also to take
Okay.
that. And the moment I take this credit, it should get auto-populated in his GSTR 1A. I'm not confusing, but I'm telling you this is most important aspect of a business as today.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But this option was not given. So
Okay.
what I felt was like it defeated somewhere the purpose of IMS. That is where I
Yes.
am of the I personally am of the opinion of.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Arpan, Vivek this side. So
Yeah, hi
just to add
Vivek.
on this, just to add on this question, there was a Calcutta High Court ruling which was confirmed by Supreme Court,
Hmm.
where there is no default of the service receiver or both the sides. This is something which is purely technical glitch, and all other conditions of 16 are complied. Citing that
Correct.
ruling, I think we should be able to take the credit, because they clearly mention if it's either not fake invoicing or any
Correct.
other
Correct.
fraudulent
Vivek,
credit.
I
So
will
I
come
will
to the
think
point.
that 1 point interest will,
I will come to the point, Vivek ji. I usually read couple of like almost all day. I go through the judgments. You understand from all the taxpayers' perspective. Say, suppose for this 1 month, if whatever the case, the question we were discussing with Deepti ji, if we look into that facts, and if I go to High Court, probably Deepti and Vivek, we all are aware that we will get decision in our favor,
no,
because
just
ultimately,
not that. I am not telling we should go. So Supreme told that in case there is no fault of the service receiver or goods receiver, and unless the department has contrary to tell, the ITC should be allowed. In effect,
correct, correct, correct.
2AA has been made redundant in that case, where
Mhm.
irrespective of fact it is available in 2B or not, you are allowed to take credit if you have to meet the other condition, which in the example cited, you said that all the other conditions are meeting. Just because the supplier has missed it, I'm not allowed to take the credit because it's not reflecting in 2B. So only on that limited point, the Supreme Court ruling will hold good, and still I can go ahead and take the credit and save that 1 month interest. Which,
Correct.
going back to my original question, so government cannot mandate us to do how the business has to be done, right? So in that context only, this overall context, the Supreme Court ruling was delivered.
Correct. So Vivek ji, I have went to that case. What I am trying to put it here is, if this option would have been given, it would have actually served the purpose of IMS. Because this option is not been given. See, again, what happens is,
Completely agree with you. So probably this is a practical solution which probably one can give to the client to save on the interest part. Yes.
correct. And this what you are trying to is what we have to litigate. If we receive a notice, we have to litigate. Say again, what we have seen when it comes to 17, 18, 18, 19 and other assessments, if the amount is small, again, High Court, Supreme Court, whatever the decision it will be, the adjudicating authorities are hardly interested in.
That's the case everywhere.
Yeah. So case to
Just
case
this.
basis scenarios. Case to case basis scenarios changes. Say if it is amount is material, say even anything more than 20,
Absolutely.
25,000. So we'll put all these case laws, etc., and we'll see that something is being done. But otherwise, again, it is very difficult to get justice in India, or it is difficult to get justice. I can tell you to the point.
Yeah. So we are waiting for tribunals to
Yeah, we are.
get
See, after
instituted.
8 years, we are waiting the tribunals to come.
Yeah.
So coming to this point, so that is where I am of the view that IMS, if they would have given this aspect of adding invoices, it would have actually served the purpose. I'm not telling you IMS is not serving the purpose, etc., etc. I'm just trying to bring out the intent of the law, which was there at the beginning of the financial year, and since as on today, in the second or third slide, if you would have seen, Jyoti garu, if you can mute yourself, please. Okay, I have the option. I have noted. Thank you. So this is what the aspects with when it comes to IMS is. The FAQs on IMS, each and every aspect is self-explanatory. I have compiled it. If time permitted, we'll go back and check so that it serves as a ready reference in a single PPT. I have included it. RCM liability and ITC statement. These are a few aspects that has been introduced now. When it comes to say RCM liability, just give me a second. RCM liability and ITC statement, say if it is available in returns, RCM ITC opening balance declaration, this thing. Say if you look into, it is more of like if you have, say, during the previous periods, if you have less paid the ITC and availed, say suppose in usually what we do is 3.1.d is where we show the liability, and 4A2 or 4A3 is where we avail the credit. I hope I'm with you all. If tax is to be paid under RCM, it is paid under 3.1.d, and ITC is availed under 4A2, 4A3. So if there is, what the government says is, if there is any shortfall in payment or availment, what you are supposed to do is you are supposed to give this declaration of RCM liability. That is what we have to do is before 30th of November, you have to go back and see if there is any excess tax paid, and not excess tax has been paid, but ITC has less availed. You are supposed to report the positive numbers here. Or if the tax has been, ITC has been availed and tax has been less paid, then you are supposed to enter negative numbers here. Again, it is self-explanatory. I have covered in the slide for our reference. The motive of bringing this slide is to make you aware that 30th November still we have some time, because to report the numbers, time is gone. However, to amend the number, we have the time till 30th of November, and I have checked the portal. What I believe, it is still accepting values. So if anything to be filed, please file with respect to RCM liability and ITC statement. Reversal of reporting of ITC reversal opening balance. Say many of occasions, what we have suggested our clients is that to avail the ITC but not utilize, or avail the ITC and reverse it. So if our clients, or in our own cases in our firms, if we have availed the ITC and we have reversed it so that we can re-avail it in subsequent period, again the department has issued a separate reporting ITC reversal opening statement, wherein we are supposed to mention the opening balance of those amounts. New electronic ledger, it is introduced to facilitate correct reporting of ITC reversal and reclaims. It is available from August 2023 for monthly taxpayers and July to September 2023 for quarterly taxpayers. It is allowed again till November 30, 2024. What we are supposed to report in the opening balance here is all the ITC that we have availed and reversed, and we will re-avail it in subsequent period. The opening balance as on July 2023, the balance as on July 2023, we have to report it under opening balance figures. Again, I have quickly summarized. These are the points. If you have, then it is applicable. Otherwise, no. And we have understood that these aspects have been added in electron, like there are ledgers, right? Electronic cash credit liability ledgers. Apart from that, two more ledgers that has been added is the one which we have discussed now. Other important changes in GST portal. Hard locking of GSTR 3B, auto-populated liability, effective from Jan 2025. Now at least we have an option to manually edit the numbers. After some time, say in another 1 or 2 months, the department, the CBIC, the GSTN is of the opinion that you will not be in a position to even edit GSTR 3B. Any action that needs to be done is through 1A, IFF or IMS. That's it. You don't have any option to even edit the numbers that is been reflected in GSTR 3B. That is how the department is trying to come in times to come. Archival of GST returns data. If you want to save any of the data for the previous periods, I would suggest that please download the data for 17, 18, 18, 19, because after some time, even if you wish to download, it will not be available. This is one of the advisories that has been issued. 996 is available in the portal now. We have a session. I would request everyone to attend it so that all the practical aspects with respect to 9Cs as well, we can discuss the same day, because now, unlike earlier years, now there is a shift change, I can tell you, from GSTR 2A to 2B, the details that the GSTR 9 is picking from, and other aspects that has been introduced. So please, I would request all the members to attend in person and see that you make a note of the important changes from the current year that has been there. Advisories on issuance of notices or orders without digital signatures on issuing authority. See, this is a very important aspect that has been introduced, that the portal has been issued an advisory that they state that even if a show cause notice or order is unsigned, see what happened when if from state authorities, I can tell you definitely, multiple notices were issued. They were not signed. Even the orders were not signed. We have filed n number of writs in High Court of Telangana. Other places also it is filed. I'm just, because we are all from here, a number of High Courts writs were filed with the High Court, stating that order is a very big aspect and it should be signed. Then the GSTN has come up with a clarification and an advisory stating that how to check whether the order or a show cause notice is genuine or not. So the validity of a document, the government says, is on the dashboard tab, click on services, click on user services, and verify the reference number, RFN. Put the RFN number there. Click enter. You will know the jurisdiction from where the notice was issued and the person who is issuing the notices, the designation. You will come to know whether the notice was genuine or not. What the actual background reference is, it is generated through system. So that is the reason they state it is genuine and it is valid, is what the advisory is being told. So this is the reference number. I've just highlighted. If you want to cross check also, RFN is nothing but the reference number pointed out on the left hand side above, ZD360. This is what we have to copy. We have to paste it here in the RFN, enter RFN number, and then put the captcha. You will get the result. That is how it is. Assessment and adjudication, order, and name of the office issuing is SGST CBIC. This is how it will appear. Reversal required under Rule 37A are now available in GST 2B. Now what 2B is doing is, 2B itself is highlighting the reversal that we need to do. See, again, this is again a welcome move. Earlier, what we used to do is, we used to avail the credit that is appearing in 2B, irrespective of it. So even if that CGST and SGST of Karnataka or Andhra Pradesh is being shown, say if the Taj Hotel of Andhra Pradesh it is being shown, our team used to take the credit. We never used to check with respect to apply filter 36 avail, other than 36, we have to reverse it. We were not doing it. Now the portal itself is what we say, welcoming this change, and what they say is, if there is any POS related aspects, there will be auto reversal. The portal itself will do this aspect for you. furnishing of bank account details by registered persons. Now, unless until you furnish a bank details in the GST portal, it will not allow you to file the GST returns. There is a launch of e-Waybill 2 portal. This is why I have kept it specifically because number of times, even if I cut the call for like say straight away for fourth or fifth time, the client calls me repeatedly stating that there is some issue, technical issue with their e-Waybill portal and they are not able to generate. There is an alternate e-Waybill site that is been made available from 1st June 2024, which you should keep it to your knowledge, so that if sometimes you get calls of this kind, you will be able to guide or suggest your client to visit this alternate website and ensure that e-Waybill is being generated so that to ensure their smooth business. Login details, all the aspects are same. Now advisory for form GST DRC 03A. Advisory on form GST DRC 03A. Can anyone tell me what is DRC 03A? Recently released, November 5th. See, the aspects which are of not that important, I have speeded it up so that we cover all the aspects so that you are aware of. Once you are aware of, things becomes very easy for you then. I will tell you, based on the last 5 to 6 slides or the last 10 slides, you will appreciate that now GSTN is changing the law, or like earlier the law used to be changed by a way of notification, or like things used to be introduced by way of a notification or a circular. This you can go back and check Companies Act, Income Tax Act, other acts, wherever FEMA, etc. You will find and you will appreciate that now GSTN itself is giving advisories, and later there may or there will be an amendment, but as of now GSTN is coming forward and it is telling the way the business should run. How far it is correct, again, please don't ask me, but you look at the recent advisories we have discussed, almost all the changes are coming from the GSTN portal. See, if you can look into it, is Team GSTN, it is not the CBIC or a notification that is being introduced. So as Vivek ji was rightly addressing, things are becoming tough day by day, wherein if you go back and just check the updates tab in the GST portal, there are n number of updates that we are getting. And that is where it becomes very important to attend all this knowledge webinars and seminars, so to stay ourselves updated. The more updated you are, the more the possibilities that you will avoid all the mistakes. See, the mistake is committed majority of the times unknowingly, not knowingly. You should appreciate this. So what DRC 03A, the department is trying to convey here. Again, I will try to make this interactive, and I will leave it. I will leave the forum open to you then. We are filing DRC 03 if you want to make any payment. 90% of us, including me or our office, what we usually do is we file DRC 03, a voluntary or others or any other option that is available. We click on that aspect and we file it, because till now even department was asking us to give it. Sir, DRC dedo, bas DRC ఇచ్చేయండి, మనకు సరిపోతుంది, మేము డ్రాప్ చేసేస్తాము. That is how the aspects were, or will consider DRC 03 even if order is passed. Correct me if I'm not wrong. Even at your offices, I believe that DRC 03 either in the voluntary or under others or other aspects, we were filing it. I'm
Yes.
awaiting. Yes. So that is how we were doing. Then you will realize post like last 1.5 2 years back, the department has started working on, say, when there was a due date of limitation for 17-18, 3 to 4 months before that, the department has started working on DRC 03. Whatever the amounts we have paid through DRC 03, we were getting calls from the GST department to share the respective details, why this amount has been paid, if show us the computations or the workings with respect to the payment of amount, etc., etc. Even it was very difficult on our part at that time, because the staff who has done or filed the DRC 03 at that period is not available now. It becomes very difficult for us to go back and check why it has been filed. it has increased our workload to some extent and department's workload to a larger extent. R is 5% and for them it is 95%. The workload has increased. In say if there is a team of 10 persons in an office, 3 to 4 persons were only offsetting the liabilities paid through DRC03 against our demands. I hope I'm making sense. That is how every officers of ours were working at that moment. Now, what the government has done is they have understood. See, what would have happened is we are not aware, but some part like the government, there was all the principal chief commissioner. I still remember Sandeep Prakashji, the Telangana's principal chief commissioner, was personally reviewing DRC03 status each day wise. How many DRC03 you have closed? There was an MIS he used to receive each day wise. I'm telling you, he used to track. That important it was at that point of time. Now what the government has done is they have considerably they have understood the pain of the GST officer, and it is more of like a reverse charge. Now instead of officer doing it, they have told that boss, if that is the case, if you pay everything to DRC, you don't put the reference number of the demand that got generated, etc. It is increasing our workload. So from now on, what they have introduced is DRC03A. What we have to do is, while paying, if you have paid the amount through DRC03, they have to file DRC03A, offsetting the amounts from DRC03. Say if I have paid 100 rupees from DRC03, like others or voluntary I have put, there is an order that is being passed for 80 rupees under DRC07 is issued. That 80 rupees I have to offset, or that 100 rupees of order I have to offset by the DRC03 which I have already paid, and I have to submit it. In short, I will tell you, whenever an order is passed under DRC07, MOV9, DRC08, what happens actually? You tell me. There is a demand that gets created, correct? If an order is passed, there is a demand that gets generated that I am supposed to pay to the government so and so amount. So what government says, while paying the so and so amount, you use a reference towards that notice so that automatically things will be easy for us. Otherwise, if you pay DRC03 for paying DRC07, DRC08, MOV09, MOV11, here it is, friends, here it is. DRC07, 8, 9, 11 and APL04, if you are using DRC03 to make the payment, what they are telling is simultaneously file DRC03A and adjust the outstanding demand generated through DRC, respective DRC07 or MOV11 or AOC04, APL04, and offset the demand is what they are referring to. Again, the process for the first time or second time would be bit difficult. Otherwise, it is very easy. How we file DRC03, it is similar to that aspect only. The government has given a detailed advisories along with FAQs in this case as well. What I will do is, I will quickly take you through the DRC03A aspect, because this is again a recent aspect that has been introduced, and probably now because they have even in this month they have 2021 show cause notice deadline. So probably they are not pitching on DRC03A as of now, but again by the time of say December or January, again they will start calling us and asking us to file DRC03A against DRC03. Again, it is one of the major workload that is been added on our part, and it will reduce the workflow of the government. The GST department, actually they were working on these aspects. They were offsetting manually all the demands. They were taking all the inputs from our end and they were doing that aspect. Now it is on our part either to challenge the order. See, majority of us, we have not even went through the order. See, once the order is passed, how DRC07 is generated on the portal is our responsibility to check whether interest is being asked, whether penalty is being invoked. So what happens usually, if you pay the tax, you don't pay interest and penalty, things are difficult again. But again, we have a third session. Again, we have a third session on amnesty, wherein you will realize this, that if the tax is paid, you offset it and keep it ready so that by the time section 128 that amnesty will be coming into picture, they have introduced couple of forms. You will be in a position to the tax payment is done, interest penalty is waived off. This aspect is also one primarily I can acknowledge the efforts of our Hyderabad Chartered Accountant Society that they have even kept a session on this. So all important aspects are being covered here on. And coming to the questions, I will just take up and then I will run through DRC 03A. How can I make the tax payment related to FY 23-24 onwards supplies if I notice it after? You can pay through DRC 03, and if annual return is not filed, you include the correct numbers, put the reference of DRC 03 that the correct liabilities has been determined in GST and 9 and duly discharged through DRC 03 dated so and so. To link DRC 03 payment to the notice, that is what we are supposed to do. So I have addressed majority of the questions. Shall we quickly run into DRC 03A or let us wind up here, or if you have some questions, we'll discuss it.
You can go through DRC 03, Arpanji. I think
Okay.
if they have questions, they'll ask.
Done. Okay. These are the advisories. My screen is visible or no?
It's visible.
Okay, I will just make it to Windows. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. I'm just trying to open, share this document.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So all the participants' question Q&A is done. Any more questions for the speaker, please?
I think questions are done. He's going to give presentation on DRC 03 still. Right, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Just give me a second. I'm just trying my luck if I can share the screen with respect to document. Is it visible, ma'am, now?
Yes, it's visible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. See, what we are supposed to do is we have to log into the portal, click on services, user services, my applications. Earlier, we used to select DRC 03. Above that itself, we have form GST DRC 03A. Till then, the process is simple. What we are supposed to do is, say if we want to offset some amount that is lying in DRC 03, we have to copy the ARN number of DRC 03. We have to paste it here. Okay. The reference number is nothing but ARN number which we are supposed to paste. Date of filing, cost of payment, return, etc. will get auto-populated. what we will be doing is we'll try to offset that amount against some demand which has been created on the portal against DRC07, APL04. There is a drop down that will come. The drop down will show you the outstanding demands that is lying on against our GST number. We have to select the respective order number and we have to offset the amount. It will ask us how it is to be. Again, manual intervention is allowed. You can do that. Amount paid through cash, amount paid through credit, amount to be adjusted, etc. Just give me a second. Adjustment through credit. These are all the screenshots that have been provided. Once that offset you have identified, say suppose 100 rupees was my order. I have already paid 100 rupees through DRC03. What I will do is first DRC03 ARN is what I will start with. I will assign this order reference number to this DRC03 and I will file it off. Say 100 rupees DRC03 is there. I have two orders. One is 80, one is 20. Even that is allowed. We have FAQs as well. I will share with the team HCAS. They will share it with you. My PPT and along with the other aspects, I will duly share the files with them, which you can refer it to in the future. Now, probably the department has other aspects to do, so probably they are not highlighting much on DRC03A, but at times this aspect is what we need to work on. So I would request all the members to file DRC03 correctly so that DRC03A is what we can avoid. And if the DRC03 is filed already under voluntary or others option, offset your demand against the liability which is already been paid as per DRC03. That's it, friends, from my end. I believe all the members would have got benefited. I will definitely suggest you that next two sessions are well planned by the team. Good speakers coming in. So I would request, it's about more of your 2 hours that matters, which the moment you appear, you attend for 2 hours, it's like, again, our subsequent 2 months, whatever, even 1 point learned from a seminar, that is what I believe will make huge amount of difference. So friends, thank you so much, one and all. I would definitely love your feedback. And I request everyone to attend for the subsequent sessions. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
And
much,
I leave it to
Arpan.
you, ma'am. I will leave it up to you. Yeah, thank you,
Yeah,
ma'am.
thank you very much, sir. Wonderfully covered all the recent amendments. We are grateful for your insightful presentation you delivered. Your expertise and in-depth knowledge of the subject shed light on the intricacies of the recent amendments. Your presentation covered almost all the crucial aspects. As you said, if you share the PPT, we'll circulate among the members. And your engaging and informative style made the complex topic of the GST accessible to all. We appreciate your time and effort you invested in presenting this presentation. Thank you once again for sharing your knowledge with us. We look forward your support in future also, sir. Yeah, thank you
Thank you
all
so
the
much, ma'am.
participants for your patient listening. And we are having a session tomorrow also. We are having continuously 3 days, today, tomorrow, and on Thursday. Okay.
Thank you everyone for your time. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Arpanji.
Thank you, ma'am.
Tomorrow by 5 p.m. we will be meeting again for a different topic.
Tomorrow's speaker is funny. Yeah.
Thank you so much.